Welcome back. Thanks for subscribing. They say the absence of evidence isn't the evidence of absence. That means to say, if you can't prove it, mean to say it exists. So we're going to talk some more about this FINSAC situation. Me go buy the book. So here's Don Crawford. He owned Central National Bank. This man was one of the biggest losers when it came down to FINSAC, all due to the government. So this was a sad story that started with inflation. The man described FINSAC as the great white shark or big black bear. Hungry, thirsty, ready to consume every and anything in front of them. Just like FINSAC. Now hear how successful this man was. His bank was the number 3 bank in Jamaica. Number 4 in financial group. How him describe FINSAC? Him say FINSAC lack principles, decency, integrity, and transparency. And him say what them really do, is them seize the assets them, or the people them, thousands of Jamaicans, hundreds of banks, thousands of businesses. And when them seize them property and so on, they then reduce the value of them property there to 10 to 5% of their value. Valuation fraud that was involved.
Yes, I've indicated, well, firstly, FINSAC is indeed the big black bear that we've never seen before. They're like the great white shark, and it's hungry. And they have overlooked all aspects of principle, decency, honesty, transparency, integrity. They did the century in itself, without prejudice to the other victims. It's a colossal disaster. We are undoubtedly the biggest victims of that assault, combined with the minister. The minister, with whose portfolio is part of FINSAC, so I speak to all, but their modus operandi was one of reducing the value of the assets from to probably 10% of their real value. And I say this, and I also say this very cautiously but factually, and I will say to the international forum that the appraisers and the evaluators have committed a very huge fraud. The fraud of undervaluing properties to as little as 5 and 10% of their value. I give you a case in point. We had a lot of land in Runaway Bay. I mean, this is one of thousands. Thousand issues with customers and wholesalers, where it was valued at over $600,000 US. It was sold to a connected party in politics, but just under $70,000 US, or less than 1/5 of its price. It's owned now by a politically connected person. There are present and past members of parliament and parliamentarians who now lavish in the wealth, the blood, sweat, and tears of all that we produced with honesty, with integrity and transparency. We have never used steroids when we were on the race. We won races. We got from a number 12 bank to a number 3, number 4 financial group in Jamaica. We got there not by skullduggery and dishonesty. We got there by hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, and by professionalism.
So you tell me, say the country, the leader them of the country, them involved. The Tapanaris people them involved, and then Golden come and talk about Tapanaris. Now hear me I say, we're going to go to the conversation now as it relates to Peter Bunting and Mark Golden, because over the years, the newspaper never come off of them, and how they benefited. And we have some very interesting information to tell you about that as well. So now hear this now. This article from 2010. Evidence of sweetheart deal in DB&G deal. So them men are connected to a lot of people, and these men knew what happened in Jamaica because they were directly working with the Minister of Finance. That was already established in the previous video. But I like something that came out of this situation and the way Mark Golden responded to it. That brother I don't need for reach in a Jamaica house, The long and the short of FINSAC, is that the finance minister essentially decides, say, him go sell out the whole of the businesses them and sell out most of the financial institutions in order to ensure that their chief investors could have saved them money based on the financial crisis that was created by the government of Jamaica. So, what we get right as now is that Daring, Bunting, and Golding was founded in 1993, right around the same time when Omar Davies became Minister of Finance. It was the first private investment bank. And so we are talking about Mark Golding being 27, Peter Bunting being 32. So you're going to tell me, say, for all the 100 years of experience building businesses and banks that went up in flames, you have two new youth who come into the industry and they dominated the sector so much. So the fact is that Audley Shaw went and he go dig up some document and he come back and him say him have proof to say that Bunting approached the Jamaica Redevelopment Foundation, which acquired, and this is the company that acquired most of the bad debts of FINSAC. Audley Shaw bring up the idea, say, them benefit from it. You know what him say? No go so. And then he run guard the newspaper and go tell them. What him tell them say is that he started a deal with them and the deal never got through. So no hear this and now. This article from 2010. Evidence of sweetheart deal in DB&G deal. So them men are connected to a lot of people, and these men knew what happened in Jamaica because they were directly working with the Minister of Finance. That was already established in the previous video. But I like something that came out of this situation and the way Mark Golding responded to it. That brother had no need for reach in a Jamaica house, The Contractor General did find deals in 2004 and 5 that, although him said nothing illegal about it, they were sweetheart deals. What him conclude is that some part of the agreement were irregular and highly improper. Again, they leave us in the dark. They not tell us. So the Contractor General referred the matter to the Attorney General and the Solicitor General to initiate disciplinary proceedings. It would be interesting to find out what those disciplinary proceedings were. So them man have been in a situation where the Contractor General referred them to the Attorney General for disciplinary action, which tells you that them man in a straight. But we know this. We just bring the evidence right now. Because remember, them are trying to come run the country right now. And every day them come out and talk about corruption and I call out the Prime Minister about everything. And look about skeleton in for them closet. Here for Mark response now. Him say what the Contractor General sees as improper and irregular was standard business practice. So the Contractor General now have their own guidelines and standard operating procedures which were not followed. It's for them to point it out, but this is golden for you. Love for deny things and spin things. Who remember the statement? I am Mark Golding. I'm a born Jamaican. I have a Jamaican passport. Does anybody see the omission in that? I'm going to leave that one the phone. So again, we're talking about deals, So we're talking about one deal over here, so one deal over there. So it's like Omar Davies liquidate the whole country to the two man them. And it's not enough. They're back for the rest. It is crazy to me. So there was another deal at the last paragraph. So the other deal involved the resale of a portion of the receivables by DB&G to two public bodies, the National Insurance Fund and the NHT. Wanna see one more, yeah, man? So this article was May 18, 2011. Opposition Senator Mark Golding has rejected the latest claims by the Finance Minister Audley Shaw about alleged sweetheart deal. This one here in the Runaway Bay Hotel / Hedonism 3 project. Boy, them man look like them have a hand in the whole. Them own the country, them just want the license right and how it look like. They said the project was a partnership between investment firm Daring, Bunting and Golding Limited, DBNG and the National Investment Bank of Jamaica. However, Shaw said the terms of the partnership was more favorable to DBNG. That's something that would trickle down to, taxpayers. So here Mr. British respond after Shaw dare him for deny what happened. He never denied. But here what I say about it. The man say, as it reads, among Senator Golden's concern is that the transaction was carried out through DBNG and not through himself as an individual. And what kind of man this here? You own DBNG and these big transactions are taking place. And that is your only concern. So you're never concerned that Uno basically were a part of the whole scheme that flushed out businesses in Jamaica, closed down all the banks, and then go around the country obtaining these properties in some directly, some indirectly.
Because although I came into the party through Dr. Omar Davis, because I knew him in the financial sector, where I had been like one of the leading corporate lawyers in Jamaica and very involved in financial engineering. And so when he was Minister of Finance, a lot of the things that required industry input, I was one of the representatives of the industry that he would deal with. I got to know him through that. And that's how I got into the PNP really, through my relationship with him.
So this is just a drop in the bucket, as to the man that Jamaica is looking to elect as Prime Minister. I deliberately did the screenshots very differently this time, and there are things I didn't speak on because I don't know if anybody noticed that trend nowadays, Them politicians, them play deaf and blind to what people are saying about them. But as soon as they find something that they can run, go quote with, that's exactly what they do. Because them already plan to lie and deflect their ways out of anything and everything. But I not really them may make message for because as Maya Angelou say, when somebody show you who they are, you need to believe them. So me really just appeal to the voters them right now. Me ask the elders them, the real elders them, because part of this problem with the politics is the old die-hearted elders them who still in love with the deceased Michael Manley and a whole lot of things. And to think that after the devastation of so many businesses gone down, bank gone down, jobs gone down, the economy gone down. So essentially the PMP has made Jamaica, set back Jamaica badly in a time when the world economy was doing well. Jamaica was the only place this was happening. So one of the things you have to remember, and that's why I want to know if you like, share, and subscribe, is that when journalists write in a newspaper, they have a boss and a editor-in-chief that they must comply with. And as we can see, especially with the Gleaner, sometimes they skew things in favor of the party that they support, and everybody know already. So the chairman of the Gleaner did come out and say him support Mark Golden. So when you find real vloggers come out here and we are give you information and we are give you facts, we ask the people them who know better and who know things on a comment, continue to highlight things that happened during FINSAC and how you see patterns in these leaders who were around. So during FINSAC, they were in the background of the politics, but the foreground of the economy. But now they want their share of power to do what only God knows. But pray for Jamaica, wise people, wise up. I share with young people who them have a trick. When you see Andrew talk yesterday, share with young people so they can know the history of the PMP, especially as it relates to wrecking the Jamaican economy. Yeah, man, so this is Steady saying, like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more because we have enough more issues to talk about on the Jamaican politics, yeah. Steady.